am your host, Abraham. I'm joined here by my co-host.
Alex.
These are our guests,
Julio Mejia.
Chess Dragon.
and we are Ignite Podcast. So, start us off. Start us off.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about yourself.
You go ahead.
Miss Smith.
Okay.
Are you really freezing up right now?
I'm a teacher. I teach CTE.
Wow.
I worked in advertising, so I'm pretty new to the whole teaching.
Hold on. Little commercial break for a second. Hold on.
It's Mingling in the class. Yeah, she's here.
How does he not know this?
West 322. Okay, thank you.
Ming. West 323?
West 323.
West 323.
When you're done with the final.
Okay.
Sorry. I'm back.
When you're
CT
done,
teacher.
Ming. When you're
New York
done.
High School.
After the final's done.
CTE teacher at Newdorf High School.
Volleyball coach?
Oh, no.
Volleyball. Hoorah!
You're
yeah.
too much.
That's really what I do. I teach.
I think we need to touch upon this insecurity you have right now of
She's so
being
scared.
terrified to speak on it.
It's my first time, you know.
Are you camera shy?
I guess so. I didn't know, but yeah.
Stage fright.
Yeah, a little bit.
What can I say? We have a big audience.
I didn't I was
31
told I was
subscribers.
going to be on this podcast about a minute ago,
Yeah.
so I
Oh, that-
haven't fully mentally prepared.
So you're
you
just
know?
like
yeah.
right here, right now, you know?
Yeah, it's happening.
So what about you,
happening.
Mejia? You know?
Julio Mejia, CT teacher at Newdorf
Mejia.
for, this is my 7th year.
Ooh la la.
Damn.
Virtual enterprise teacher, so I've been teaching that for 4 years now. Volleyball coach, SLC coordinator.
You play volleyball?
I do play volleyball.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Oh, I know,
Really?
crazy.
That's really
Right?
interesting.
You look familiar. Like
Uh,
maybe
uh.
are you on play before?
No, I play tennis. Tennis.
So yeah, that's me, I guess, in a quick nutshell.
So we're just gonna discuss the topic on how to navigate through life. You know, you guys have I guess you guys are experienced. You know, you guys have some sort of life experience.
Sure.
You know,
We'll call it that.
yeah. You guys are like double my age. You know, so
Literally.
yeah.
Not literally.
No, literally.
Like literally.
But yeah, actually,
Literal.
not literally.
Not literally.
Like,
What are you guys getting math?
Hold on.
so
20,
how do you want to start?
34.
So first, I want to just say, like, no matter what age you are, like, all right, I'm 30. I still feel like there's times where like it's not real. Like I'm supposed to be the adult, and I'm looking for an adult to help me out. And then I turn around and I go, oh crap, that's me. So like no matter how old you are, there's still going to be that time in your life where like to you, you're going to be like, but I'm still a kid. Like I'm still like 18. I'm still like 19. Like I can't be doing this. And you're like, no crap. Like I do have to do it. So you don't be prepared. Like that's something that like you don't realize. Like especially when you move out and you do things on your own, you're like, wow, like I'm really doing this. But like I feel like I'm not ready. I still feel like I'm a kid. I still feel like I'm questioning everything because you have to go through that as a whole. So why can't you guys keep a straight face? Either one of you.
Do you ever think you'll reach that point in your life where it's like now you won't have to like think about looking for somebody?
No, because I feel like you're always gonna experience something new. So
Yeah.
like your journey is always going to be experiences, always going to be growth, always going to be like a learning experience. So like you'll always have that idea that like I don't know, and you're always gonna like ask for advice because I know I still ask for advice. I still call my parents sometimes, like especially with my kids. I'll call my mom up and be like, hey, Ava's not feeling good. What do I do? And she's like, well, is she blah blah blah? And I'm like, no, and she'll be like, all right, do this then. So you'll always like look out to someone who's older.
So, has there ever been a point where you reached out to someone, I guess, younger or someone who's at least an adult, like Dragon, Like, have you ever asked Dragon for advice?
I think we all do it. I think, yeah. I know, like, especially, I joke around all the time with you guys, but, like, with them, too, coworkers, I probably see them more than I see my own family for the most part.
We
so,
spend
like,
a lot of time together.
yeah, so, like, we're always going to be like, hey, like, I'm having this problem right now. Like, what should I do? Or, like, how do I deal with this? Or what do I say? Even if it's through text message. Or even if it's just for support. Like, you know, I have a lot of things going on right now. And, like, they're the first people I probably told. Like, Dragon, you know, Miss G, Miss Aziz, Scatini. Like, they were the first one who was like, hey, this is what's going on in my life. I was like, I just need a vent. And even if it's just venting, it's definitely a big help.
Yeah.
No, I want to ask you something. So you said that you see like your coworkers or even students more than you see your own family. Has that ever like negatively hurt your family in a way?
Oh God, why is this personal to me?
Well, I can't ask you a question.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie and say like, oh no, not at all. Like I have everything balanced. No, there are times where like I'm here till 8 o'clock, and like then I get home and like my kids have already eaten dinner. You know, they've already had PJs on. They already are like done with homework. So now they're going to sleep within an hour or two. So that's all I had all day with them. Because when I leave, it's like they're sleeping still. So then to get home and instead of like having a full day or like half a day that most people would, like I have an hour or two, and then that's all I get, and then the next day starts and I'm back here again. So yeah, it does hurt, and like especially when my kids like make comments on it, they're like, oh, your dad, you're never home, like you're never here, we don't see you, and I'm like, wow, that like sucks. But at the same time, it's not like I'm fooling around. It's I'm here at work. So whether I'm coaching, whether we're practicing, like it is still work. And I guess it's similar to like if I worked. I mean, you've experienced it, like working in business until like 9 o'clock at night.
Oh yeah.
Like so, I know how it is on my perspective with kids, and I think that's my biggest struggle. Does that impact you without kids right now?
Yeah, I mean, it still impacts my personal life, especially teaching VE. We put in a lot of hours after school, and even in the morning, like waking up at 6 a.m. For these competitions. Even though I don't have kids, it's still like sometimes the days just get so busy. I don't text my husband until like 4 o'clock saying like, oh, by the way, I'm going to be late tonight, without realizing I'm already like 2 hours late to show up at home. And there's been times where it does get stressful because he works nights. So if I'm at school late, we don't get to see each other. And then he comes home in the morning, but I already leave for school. So like sometimes there's times where we don't see each other for like 3 days in a row. So it kind of is stressful. I think that open communication is key, and I kind of suck with like texting and keeping people updated and stuff. So
100%. Like my wife knows that if I text her, hey, we're wrapping up, I'll be leaving soon, I'm not leaving for over an hour.
You take mad long. You're talking about my time management. You judge me for time management.
I mean, and like Abraham knows as a coach, like I'll be like, guys, we're almost done, like with practice, and we'll be there another hour.
No, but like that's what I'm fine with. I'm done. But like when you say practice is at 2:30 and you show up like 3:30, almost 4, like that's crazy, bro.
That doesn't happen often, rarely. But again,
my sophomore year that happened.
Yeah,
often.
well, because like we're a part of a lot of things, and VE takes a lot of that time. And then like now as coordinator, like I have meetings after school, or I'll have meetings during the day, and then like something urgent will come up that I have to like pay for or like order, and like now I'm stuck on the phone, I'm stuck in a meeting, I'm stuck with talking to somebody, and communication is a big deal. Like especially like with my wife, and I say like this 100% in terms of like a relationship is that you have to be able to communicate. And me and my wife do it so naturally where it's just like she can read when I'm like upset or frustrated by something and immediately be like, all right, what's going on? Talk. And I'm like, and instead of me trying to like bottle it up, I'm like, all right, this is what happened in school, or this is what I'm thinking about, blah, blah, blah. And I realize that not many people do that. And those are the relationships that I see suffer, because I'd rather you be upfront with me. like with you guys, like if something's going on, if something's bothering you, like tell me. Like I'm not gonna be upset about it, but like let me know, because then we could work on trying to fix it. So even if my wife is like frustrated that I'm like at work late, she'll be I can tell like the attitude, like she's just overwhelmed by everything, and I'll be like, all right, what's going on? She's like, well, this is the reason why, and blah blah blah. I'm like, all right, I made a mistake. I'll admit that. I'll change it, and then I'll try to do something to like, fix the issue. But communication definitely does help.
So it seems like you guys have really stressful lives, and like there's a lot going on, and you have to manage a relationship and family. Like sometimes emotions and tensions get high. How do you guys deal with that, like your emotions? And if let's say there's a issue going on with your relationship, how do you deal with those emotions without like an argument breaking out, or are there arguments that break out at times?
Oh, go ahead.
So it's gonna be repetitive, but it's really just communication. I'm very open, so I used to not be as open. But I'm Italian and I'm very, a little bit over dramatic, so I kind of wear my heart on my sleeve. Like my friends, even sometimes students, like you guys can see like when something's wrong, because I'm not good with facial expressions or hiding it. So I figured, so I figured like it's easier to be open, because when you are open about feelings, when you're open about what stresses you out, all of that, it helps your relationships. And I'm not talking just, a romantic relationship, just friendships, even coworkers, like all of that.
I think it's also a learning process too. Like you're gonna learn. You're not going to get it right the first time. No matter what relationship you're in, like me and my wife have been together 13 years, like almost 14. Like it took us time to figure out communication. It took us time to figure out how to deal with it. Like, you could ask our friends when we were younger, like we get into arguments all the time over small things, right? We let little things bother us, and then like that impacted each other. And for me, it's you're gonna have to learn. And like, will fights break out? Yeah. Like it's in the moment you're super tense. In the moment, like you're stressed, you're overthinking. And like Dragon, my wife is very similar. Like she likes to she be open. Like there's no hiding anything. If she's mad, she's gonna tell you she's mad. If she's upset, she's gonna tell you she's upset. Like, she wants to talk it out. I don't. Like I bottle everything in, and I'd rather like sit on it and think about it for a while, and process it before having a conversation, because I don't want to say things either A, I don't mean, or B, like, that I don't even know what I'm feeling, right? I'd rather figure out what it is first. But sometimes like having that conversation, even if you feel like you're not ready, helps you process it, because you can go through that conversation of like, this is what's going on. And then as you're talking, you're like, you know what? I feel upset, or I feel disappointed, or I feel embarrassed. And that's why I'm acting the way I'm acting. But it's all learning. Like you're not going to figure it out right away.
So is there like at any point in time where you guys just want to be left alone? Because you guys tend to have like a really, I guess, in-person like job, I guess.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Always. And like for me, like I don't have like, the only time I'm alone is if I'm in this room with nobody, and that's rare.
That's rare.
That is very rare.
For you, that's rare.
And it's because like I have you guys all here, and I don't want to like I don't want to push people away, especially if they're going through stuff. So like I don't always like say, hey, I need my space. But then when I get home, I don't have space either. Like I have 3 kids who need attention. I have a wife who needs attention. Like, so I don't have my own space. And then this year, and you could ask Abraham, like I'm really pushing like not having kids here every period. Like I kick everyone out, because even if it's for 40 minutes that I need to myself, and honestly, most of my time by myself is in my car.
I was gonna say the same thing. It's when like the transition from like being with kids all day long and then just going into a quiet car, like it's silence. Like you hear the silence.
Yeah.
It's so peaceful.
And there's like times I don't even put radio on. Like I don't even realize it's quiet until like I'm aware of it. And I'm like, crap, I just sat in silence for a while. And I was like, all right, it is what it is. Like that's what I needed. And then sometimes I realize frustration. Like I spend all day not yelling, but basically telling other people's kids what to do. and like they don't listen, and that frustrates me. So when I go home and my kids don't listen to me, it like puts me on another level, and I'm like, okay, I got to remember it's not their fault that I'm frustrated. It's just the day. So I have to be like, either A, I apologize to my kids if I get a little too intense, or B, I have to like take a step back and be like, let me go into another room really quickly, calm down for a second, and then go back and handle the situation, because it is a lot. It is very stressful.
Do you ever think that you rushed? I wouldn't. Actually, I would say, like, do you ever think that you took too many things on? You took too many like jobs or activities on too fast?
Oh, 100%. For me, I think I just wanted to be so involved. Like I wanted to like, my goal was to always like you guys first. Like I wanted to make sure that you guys have like the best possible experience. Like I know I enjoyed high school, and I always wanted to make sure that you guys have that same feeling without like the crap that I went through. So like when I was a senior, like VE was my life, and like volleyball became second when really it should have been first, because that was the thing that de-stressed me. So like I try to make it available that you guys get to do the professional stuff, get to have the great opportunity and great experience, but also get to do what you enjoy. So I think for me, I just wanted everything to happen at one time. So like I volunteered for events. I did the executive board. I did the team. I coached a team. I was coordinator. Like I did VE. So like I was just trying to jump in. And then one year, not my current AP, the old AP was like, you're stretching yourself too thin. You need to like slow it down. And then that was then, and you could ask Dragon. I don't ask for help. Rarely do I ask for help. Like you have to be like, tell me what to do. And I'd be like, and even then I'm like, no, it's fine. Don't worry about it.
With delegating. And then it's the worst because you can like, because we're close friends, like I can tell when he's going, like when he's doing 1,000 things, and I'm next to him, and I'm trying to like help, and it's like, okay, well, what could I do to help? And he's like, no, nothing. And I'm like, because I don't want to push you and be like, just tell me something to do. But it's, I feel like I'm super, super busy, and I feel like I'm doing a quarter of what Mahia does every single day.
So, and I'm just going to bring this up because, like, I took on a lot. I feel like when you came in, you got VE right away.
Yeah.
And VE is a lot.
Yeah.
Overall. So, like, how did you feel taking that on instantly?
Okay, so that was a wild ride. The transition from never teaching and working in corporate and working with coworkers to all of a sudden not only being a first-year teacher but also taking VE on was an experience.
Last year was fun though.
Okay. Yeah. It was something. It was a wild ride for sure, and that whole year was just a full growing, like, I feel like because you get thrown into something so quickly, you have no choice but to get through it.
Right.
So I feel like I got through it, crying on Mahia's shoulders a couple times, especially like the first month or so, but you learn quicker than you'll ever learn, because when you go through an experience, that's how you learn, instead of sitting in like a lecture hall or even sitting in a classroom being told, like, because we could tell you all the time, oh, this might happen, or we give you advice all the time, but you guys, it's not
real till you.
It's not real until you actually fully experience it.
So why did you get to be chosen to be a VE teacher and not someone like Aziz or Scatini?
Honestly, because I don't know if you know that answer. I mean, it's not much of an answer, but she got, as student teaching, she was with McLaughlin, who was the VE teacher already. So, even though Aziz was here and Scatini was here, Dragon was the only one who actually experienced it. Like, she was in VE. She saw what VE was. And, like, it's not a traditional classroom. Like, it's not something that, like, you can just jump in and be like, I got this 100%. Like, it does take time. And what helped me was I was a part of the program. So being a student in VE, I knew what to expect, and I knew what the kids needed to learn and how to, like, perform. And that helped. And then with you having like at least a couple of months in it as a student teacher, it helped expose you, not so much teach you, but like expose you to like what the class is supposed to look like. And I think, when the opportunity came up, because then McLaughlin retired, I think that was like an easy transition to be like, oh, she was in it, she knows it, instead of having to teach someone brand new this whole
Yeah.
class.
So, what was the biggest obstacle you guys faced growing up?
Growing
Uh,
up.
Growing up. Um, Honestly, it's something I face now, and I think it's my attention. I am the person, and listen, I self-diagnose myself until I actually go see a doctor, but I self-diagnose myself as ADHD because I feel like I have all the check marks on. But, like, I'm the person who has, like, 7,000 tabs open. I'm the person who has, like, if I start a task, like cleaning, my wife hates when I deep clean because, like, if I'm in the zone for
Oh
cleaning.
my god, my husband hates that too.
I
when
love
do
cleaning
that.
so much. Last night I was up until 2 in the morning cleaning my room.
But I'll do it. But then I'll clean something, start something, and be like, oh my god, I have to go do that light bulb. And then I go like, I gotta change that light bulb. Okay, I'll go downstairs and get the light bulb. But then while I'm down there, I'm like, oh crap, I forgot to bring the laundry up. So now I'll go bring the laundry up. And then I was like, okay, I'll start folding the laundry. But then I'll find something like, oh crap, I forgot to go do this. Let me go do this. And
Yeah,
like
it's-
all of
it-
my habits are like unfinished projects.
It's like a train that just keeps on running.
Yeah,
And
with no
there's no
stops.
stops.
Yeah.
So it's going around and around, and you're working.
It's funny because my wife leaves the house and she'll come back and be like, she's like, do me a favor, never commit a crime. And I'm like, why? She goes, because I can tell everywhere you've been into and what you got because it's just a mess. Cabinets open,
Yeah.
things left out. And it's because I'm like
It's
constantly
like we leave it
thinking.
messier than it started. Like one day, oh sorry. Go on.
No. Go ahead.
I was gonna say Brandon was at work, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna clean the living room, and I was super excited to clean the living room, and then 6 hours goes by, he comes home the next day, and I'm like, oh my god, look what I did, and the living room looked exactly the same, and he was like, what did you do all night? Like, it's been over 12 hours at this point, and I was like, no, you don't understand, look what I did, and like I showed him like the pantry, and I pulled everything
Everything
out
out.
of the pantry,
Yes.
reorganized, and he was like, that's what you're concerned about, the pantry that no one sees. And I was like, yeah, that took me like 8 hours.
But the struggle there is that like I tell all the teachers this, like I have so many ideas and I want to do them, but it's hard for me to follow through with it. Like I get obsessed with something and I want to make sure that it's done right, and then I'll
Yeah.
spend like 90% of my time doing it, and then after a while my interest fades, and then I'm like, all right, well, I tried
And
that.
then
Me
that's
too.
it.
Move
Just
on.
Move on.
I was like, move on. Like I've done a podcast, I've done, Photoshop, I've taken like I've done photography. Like I have all these like hobbies that I know, but I've never fully mastered. So like I tell my wife, and I've told you, like
Yeah.
jack of all trades, master of none is like my tagline, and I think I need to put that on my grave, because like I want to learn things, and if I find something, I'll learn it. But then I'm like, all right, I know enough, and then I'll move on.
Yeah.
So like that takes, to me, that's a struggle because I'm never fully committed to something besides teaching.
Yeah. Growing up for me, I'm diagnosed with ADHD. I think that's why when we're together, it's just kind of a
Yeah, that's
You
why we need
know.
like Miss G and Miss Aziz to
Mrs.
like
Aziz to just
focus
kind
us.
of force us to focus on something. I'm diagnosed with anxiety and an anxiety disorder as well. So growing up, I wasn't diagnosed, and I think that was the biggest obstacle because I'd be like, oh, this is a normal feeling, and I was going through all these like changes or anxiety, whatever, and then I actually got diagnosed with it recently, like in adulthood. And it's still a struggle. Like I'm still, ADHD.
Yeah.
Like I'm
still
still
learn.
all over the place, and you just kind of learn how to like live with
Yeah.
it.
For you, I actually have a question for you.
Oh God.
So you said that. Well, she also mentioned it that you never asked for help.
Yeah.
Was that affected from your childhood?
Probably. I'm the oldest of 4 siblings, so I am the go-to. Like I was the one who like led my siblings. I was like, okay, make sure you're okay. Like since I was younger, like even my youngest, because I have a sister who is 12 years younger than me and a brother who's 8 years, and then I have one who's just 2 years younger than me. And for the 2 youngest ones, like I used to parent them And my mom would turn around and be like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "What do you mean? They're going to hurt themselves. They're going to do this." And she was like, "Did I say something? Like, did I tell them to stop?" And I'm like, "No." And she was like, "So why are you? You're not the dad." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And like, but I always felt the responsibility of like having to care for everyone. And I feel like when you have that role, you can't, God, the male stereotype, you can't be weak, right? You can't show weakness because then people are going to like put doubt in you. And then the second part of me is like, I don't want to disappoint anyone, and I don't want to feel like I'm a burden to somebody. Like, I don't want to ask for help and feel like now I'm making them stress, and now I'm making them worry, and now I'm putting my struggles onto them, so I don't ask for help. And that 1 year that impacted me so bad that I ended up with shingles. So you guys will never experience it because you've never gotten chickenpox, correct?
No.
So when you get chickenpox, which I got when I was 5, you have another virus in you that can come up as you get older. And typically people over the age of like 40 get shingles, and it's really bad for the elderly. I was 23 when I got shingles, and it was because I was so stressed by everything, and I never shared it with anyone. And like I physically was like, my body felt like it was on like being electrocuted. Like if I put a shirt on, it would hurt. I like had
It's
a
like
rash.
the adult version of chickenpox.
Yeah, and it's bad.
Yeah.
But first thing the doctor said is like, "What are you stressing about?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" He was like, "This is the only way anyone your age gets shingles, and it's stress." And like that, from that point on, I had to learn to be like, even with my wife, like, "Hey, I'm having a rough day. Can you help me with this?" Or like Dragon, where it's like I have to like force myself to be like, "Hey, so I've been looking at this too much. Can you please read this for me? Because I can't look at it anymore." And like I have to like push that to make it happen. So
I also got shingles when I was a junior in high school because I stressed myself out so bad.
Jesus, I
And
thought I was bad.
yeah, so I guess we're shingle buddies.
So, I guess, is this going to be the last question? No,
I mean, I
maybe?
don't know. I'm down.
mean,
I want Chipotle, but like, I'm
Okay.
down to wait.
Well, I mean, we should have this wrap up because this is our lunch now. So
Okay, so,
whatever.
what is the biggest regret you guys have, and what did you learn from it?
Oh God. Biggest regret. Biggest regret I had and still have is I had no self-confidence. Even today I struggle with it. I felt like I was trying to catch up with someone who wasn't there. All throughout school, I was trying to be someone that I thought everyone else liked. And I felt like when I wasn't that person, like I beat myself up because of it, and I feel like it prevented me from doing more things because I thought I'm not going to be good, or oh, no one's going to like me, or I can't do it. So I definitely think that was a big issue. So I think like having no self-confidence in myself and like self-love is probably my biggest regret.
That's a hard question. I don't know. I feel like I think about how I was in high school a lot, even though according to Alex it was 100 years ago, you know. And I feel like I don't want to like say the same thing, but I was trying to be someone who I wasn't, and I tried being friends with like all different friend groups, and I didn't really have like a solid friend group because I would try to fit in with people who didn't have any of the same interests as me. So I feel like my biggest regret growing up is trying to fit in and not being myself.
Mm-hmm.
And like trying to change myself even though I shouldn't have been trying to change.
Yeah, understandable. So, Abe?
I got nothing.
No, I was going to say wrap it up.
Oh, okay, well.
Well, my question to you then,
Okay,
before we wrap it up,
okay.
because you guys haven't answered a single question.
Yeah,
I told
wait,
you,
what
bro.
the
I
heck,
literally
guys?
told you this.
Hold on. I
Um,
didn't know we could do it the other way.
Yes, that's how it's
What's
supposed to
your
work.
biggest regret? What's your biggest
what?
obstacle?
Yeah.
What's
What? Okay.
your-
So before we wrap it up, like, what do you think your biggest challenge is right now from being your best self, or whatever version that might be for you?
Honestly, it's I don't know if it's lack of sleep, motivation. No, it isn't motivation. It's just like lack of energy, to be honest. Like, there's so many things that I want to do and I know I can do, but I just don't have the energy to do them. And to this day, I don't know why. Like, I don't know if it's like a medical condition. Like, to be honest, like seriously, I can get like 15 hours of sleep, and sometimes I do, but I'm still like sleepy all the time.
Right.
Sounds like a thyroid issue.
Yeah, I honestly don't know why. I should go see a doctor, but I've been
Yeah.
postponing that for like how long?
Oh wow.
For like 2 months now.
Yeah.
Why? Because I'm busy. Yeah, I got a lot of things going on. So it's probably like my biggest regret, I guess, challenge.
Okay.
Issue.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll probably go soon.
It's
You
so
should.
funny you say that because I literally saw yesterday an Instagram post by one of those influencers, and he was like, "Don't try to improve your motivation. Motivation isn't the key. It's discipline, right? Because there are gonna be times where you're not gonna be motivated, and you can't evaluate yourself on that, right? There are gonna be times where you wake up and you don't want to go to the gym, or you don't want to do a project, or you don't want to be a part of like school and come to school. So it's more like don't try to change your motivation. Try to learn discipline to discipline yourself to be like, no, this is my plan. This is what I'm doing. I'm going to wake up every morning and go to the gym, whether I hate it, whether I think it's the worst thing in the world, or like, take 2 hours a day for school. Like discipline might help regulate that motivation because you're going to have times where you're not going to be motivated, but should that stop you?
No.
Right.
Yeah. But I feel like it's constant. It's like every day. There's not one day where I'm energized.
Do you feel like you have a set routine? Do you have a set schedule?
No, I just go with the flow.
Okay. Maybe that might need to change. Maybe like, set a time where like, all right, I got to get off in my phone, got to get off the internet. Like I'm going to just chill in my room until I fall asleep. And even that takes 2 hours, eventually
Yeah,
it'll
try
change.
disconnecting.
Yeah.
Put your
Yeah.
phone down,
No, I really use my phone. No, I actually really use my phone. I'm not even joking. The only time I use it is in school. Like out of school, I'm
Right.
sleeping.
Let me see your screen
Like I'm
time.
in my bed.
Screen
I
time.
swear to God, bro. It's always in school. I'm always on my phone. Out of school, I go to bed or I'm on my PC. But then
Alright.
I'm like, I'm tired, so I'll go
Yeah.
to bed.
All right.
And I go to sleep at like
Your
5.
biggest challenge.
Challenge is trying to figure out the plan for my
Oh,
future.
yeah, school.
Okay.
Mm.
Why?
Cause I don't know. I'm in between so many things, where it's like I want to do something. Like my plan for college, what I wanted to do, was study architecture, and that was my
Okay.
plan from like, I think since I was in 5th grade, maybe
Mhm.
4th grade, and I wanted to do that all throughout high school, until recently, until this. I just like while I was applying to college, I saw like there was like this major for like some schools, and it was film. I was like, film low-key seems fun, because what I do when I thought about it, I was like, most of the time what I do is I just watch TV shows in my free time,
Mhm.
and I like sometimes study it, and when I rewatch the shows, I'm like, oh, they did this way, and they did this way, and then I'm like, this isn't like, and then I do this, like edit it and whatever. I'm like, okay, this is something I enjoy doing, sort of. So like when it comes to like majoring it in, I was like, this
You're
could be
interested.
this is something I like. This is something I
Yeah,
could help
that's
me in
true.
the future.
I think you're at the age like don't stress about it. Like
I am.
But experience it. That's the only way you're going to figure out
Yeah.
what's going to be good for you. Right?
Yeah.
Because you could think that you love 20,000 different things and you could think that you have a plan and then like you go and experience it and go, wow, this freaking sucks. Like I hate this. And like, I mean, look at us. Like CTE teachers overall, like we all went in the field. We all have been
Yeah.
in business in some aspect, whether it's management, marketing, finance, IT, like we all have experience in it, but we all like at the end of the day changed our minds. Like,
Yeah.
there are people who have career changes in their 40s and 50s.
Yeah.
I just
I-
got denied my college I wanted to go to.
Oh, that's all right.
I also would
Sorry
say
to hear
like,
that.
oh,
But like you think like
But don't let it
I
deter
don't,
you.
I don't,
Like
I don't
Yeah,
think I don't think it's my last chance though.
it's not. But
To-
just don't. Again, you'll have an opportunity. Opportunities always come. It's more of like don't be afraid to try it. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work because you're at the age where like there's no penalty for you if it doesn't work right now. Like you have nothing to worry about. Like this is the opportunity to try everything.
I would also say it's never too late to change anything.
Yeah.
Because you could go to school. I went to school business marketing, and then worked in marketing for a few years, and then was like, let me change it up, and then got my master's in business education, and I would have never thought that. So
Yeah,
it's definitely never too late to change, and you're only gonna know what you like when you start taking those
Yeah.
classes, when you start going into that field and actually experiencing.
Because you might go into film and go, you know what, this isn't what I expected.
Yeah.
And I don't like it now. And then go back into architecture, go back into something completely different. You know, I went to school for business, ended up being an English major, said to everyone, I'm not going to teach. Like, I'm not going to be the traditional, like, English major who becomes a teacher. Like, F that. Like, no, that's not going to happen.
Oh, yeah. I was so against being a teacher. Oh, my God.
And then, like, I hated my job, and the opportunity came to teach. And I was like, let me try. Like, I don't know if I'm even going to get it. I got it, and then, like, I loved it. So, like,
and now we're here.
you honestly don't know what your future holds unless you try it.
Yeah.
So don't be afraid.
Yeah.
You'll be fine. Have faith.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Okay, so I guess we'll wrap this up here then.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So I'm your host, Abraham. This is my co-host.
Alex.
We're joined here by our guest.
Leo Mejia.
Jazz Dragon.
And we'll see you on the next one.
All
Bye-bye.
right. Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.
Rate me 1 to 10.
Oh,
All right.
no.
All right.
No.
Here we go.
All
Here
right.
we go.
Bye.